today I wanted to touch on just one of the ways you can scaffold an activity or an engagement with your child to help them be more successful. Because scaffolding is really just putting a framework around and taking some of the responsibility of the task that your child's not ready yet to take and allowing them to take the responsibility of the part of the task they can do. So looking at the environment is where I want to start with this. The first thing you can do is like put barriers around. I often use myself as a barrier. If your child's cleaning their room, you might put yourself in the doorway so that they know they can't leave until their job is done. You might just cone off part of the beach or the playground, being like, that's off limits right now for this activity. I want you to stay in this area for tag, whatever that might look like for you. Maybe it's just scaling down the job. If your child is having trouble cleaning up your room, you're like, we're only going to look after this little corner of your room and pick up your clothes and put them in the laundry basket. So that's just one way of doing it. The other thing that is really great is using organizational cues. I use a lot of visuals especially when I think about going back to cleaning a child's room, is having visuals on their like the boxes or like toy boxes. So this is the car box, and having a picture of a car. On their drawers, having pictures of like pants and t-shirts and underwear and socks, and so that they know where to put things away, so that you're not constantly having to tell them. You can cue them to look at the pictures. Oh, where does it go? Well, let's see. Where's the picture of the boots, or where's the picture of the tennis rackets, or whatever that might be. You want to reduce distractions. Now, there's several ways to doing this. You want your child to be successful. So that might be doing homework in the kitchen away from the TV. It may be making sure that they have a room and a space where their siblings are not, or where they can't hear them. One of the families I work with, actually, the kids do homework in mom's room because the house is a little bit crazy, and at least that's a quiet space. Without distractions, like having them do it in their room with all their toys, there's just too many distractions. Having them do it in the living room is too distracting with the TV and everybody else coming and going. Sometimes the kitchen is the best option, or like the kitchen might be a good option because there's only a parent making dinner and they're right there to help them. You could do, if they have a task and they find other people distracting, noise canceling headphones are great with some music on, and be like, okay, this makes the task a little bit more enjoyable. You might find that you have to add things in. For some kids with ADHD and stuff, you might want to add a bungee cord around the legs of the chair so they have something to flip. You may want to give them something to squish while they're thinking about how they're going to answer that word problem. So you might have to add things to the environment, not always just take things away. Other things you want to look at is like reducing, especially for kids on the autism spectrum, reducing the social complexity of the activity. Sometimes when you just free for all, give like 4 kids, you throw them in the mix, it's too much things going on for them to navigate. So if you can give them, we're going to so-and-so's house and the other kids, but we're going to go swimming, or we're going to play tag, or we already have these things in place to give it some kind of framework so they know how to navigate the situation. Also, taking kids out of the mix. When you only have to negotiate one other person's thoughts instead of 3 other people's thoughts, it is so much easier to be successful. The last thing I would say is that when you're looking at engagements with other kids or looking at activities with other kids, is look at the social dynamics with those kids. If you really want your child to be successful, don't match them with a kid that hits all their triggers. Not the other kid's fault, not your kid's fault. We just want them to be successful. So you want to pair them up with people who are more compatible, at least at first. You may work your way up to that other person who's not near as compatible, because he's going to meet those people in the world. But we want to give them a set of coping skills and things to do first, if that makes sense. So I hope this was helpful. I will hop on again tomorrow, and we will look at changes we can make to the task or the activity at hand to make it easier for your kid to be successful.